Today we'll discuss about consideration. Consideration is one of the essentials of a valid contract in that it must be supported by consideration. In simple forms, consideration is what a particular demand as the price for one's promise. The term consideration is used in the Latin sense as quid pro quo, which in English means something in return. This something or consideration need not be in terms of money only. The something may even be some benefit, rights, interest, or profit occurring to one party, which is considered as a positive act or a positive consideration. Sometimes also some forbearance, detriment, loss, or responsibility given, suffered, or undertaken by the other party is also a consideration. In the sense, it is a negative act or negative consideration. Consideration, as defined under section 2d, is considered as when at the desire of the promisor, the promisee or any other person has done or abstained from doing or does or abstains from doing or promises to do or abstain from doing something, such act of abstinence or of promise called consideration for promise. So something in return for something given. So the best element of consideration, no consideration, no contract. So if there would be a contract, essential need is consideration. Whether it is a positive consideration or a negative consideration. So also consideration could be past consideration, present consideration, or future consideration. As past consideration, it is done or abstained from doing. Regarding present consideration, does or abstain from doing, and regarding future consideration, to do or to abstain from doing. So regarding past consideration, an example we would like to discuss. A took the care of the old father of Sima for a complete 6 months while A was in a foreign tour, and for that A promised to give her rupees 50,000. So here the consideration for A is the 6-month care that is taken by B, and for B the consideration here is rupees 50,000. So also if we go to the executed consideration or present consideration, here A promised to pay B rupees 10,000 for a painting, and that painting would be delivered in January 31st past. So here this is called present consideration. And here the consideration for A is the pending, and for B the consideration is rupees 10,000. So also the future consideration is also called executory consideration. Here the contract is made on January 1 and the delivery would be on January 30. So this kind of contract is called executory contract or future contract. So in detail, executed consideration consists an act in actual forbearance against a future promise. So in executed consideration, the liability is outstanding on one side only, as one party has already performed his part. And one of the best leading cases could be cited here, the Union of India versus M.S. Chamanlal and Company, 1957. And now we'll go to executory consideration or a future consideration. Executory consideration is in fact a promise. For a promise, the liability is outstanding on both sides. In other words, it must involve legal obligations which can be compelled to be performed or enforced in a court of law. And one of the best leading cases cited here is Taluk Board Kolapati versus Chinnapath Ambiyar, 1936. So after this we'll go to the positive act or positive consideration and the negative act or the negative consideration. For example, regarding positive act or positive consideration, A promised to sell the car to be for rupees 5 lakh. So here the car is the consideration for B, and for A rupees 5 lakh is the consideration, and this is a positive act or a positive consideration. And in case of a negative act or negative consideration, X given a loan to Y of rupees 10 lakh. So when Y could not return it, X started to sue but remained absent on the consideration that Y would pay rupees 11 lakh within 6 months. So here the consideration for X is 1 lakh consideration, and for X the 6 month duration. So this is all about consideration in the form of present consideration, past consideration, future consideration, and the present consideration sometimes called as executed consideration, and future consideration is called as executory consideration, and consideration in the positive sense and consideration in the negative sense, as we found from the very definition of consideration as provided under Section 2, subsection D of Indian Contract